How to sell AI services. So sales is one of those things that everybody says you should be good at if you want to be good in business, and I never understood why. Put very simply, sales is the process of converting a potential lead or prospect into a potential customer or client, right? You want people to pay you money. So the actual process of convincing them that you are worth their time and effort and money, that's all sales is. So the framework I use for this is right here. Let me just show you. So technology is fundamentally better, faster, and cheaper than employees. That's it. That's the only thing I use. I don't use any kind of fancy sales gimmicks or like voice pitching or mirroring or anything like that. And this was from Alex Hormozi. I love this so much, and it's so effective, right? It's so effective. Rather than focusing on how to convince the prospect, right, the person on that call to buy your stuff, just show them how this AI is better than your employees, it's faster than your employees, and it's cheaper than your employees. And if you just prove them this, right, if you just convince them that this is true, then what business owner would say no to that? The answer is no one, right? Everybody wants something like this because it's going to make them more money. Every business would want something like this. And so the cool part about this is twofold. First thing is you don't really need to be an amazing salesman to be in this industry, right? Like in the grand scheme of things of having traffic and then using sales to convert that traffic into a client and then fulfilling it, sales is actually one of the least important things, because if you can demonstrate to them, if they just believe the fact that you can actually get this done, that's all there is to it, right? And so that leads me to my second point, which is that AI inherently is about automation, right? If somebody's saying that I want to use AI to do this thing, they're inherently saying that I want to automate something that's done manually, and that could be by an employee, that could be by an existing program, it doesn't matter. So this definition right here is actually a more precise, and I like to call it like a broken down version of what automation means. So if you're going to go sell something, or if you want to if you're thinking about selling a new service that's not there before, ask yourself whether the technology or the AI that you're building, right? It could be a chatbot, it could be a voice bot, it doesn't matter what it is. Is it better than the current employees? Is it faster, or is it cheaper than the current employees? If that is the case, that means you're probably onto something. So let me show you the examples. I'm going to give you 3 different examples of 3 different situations. One that kind of makes it clear that this is a clear sale, and the other one which is not so clear even though it matches the definitions. And I'm giving you guys these examples because I've tested out all these offers, and some of them, even though they seem like perfect on the face of it, there's caveats. So let me just show you what I mean. First is customer service. So customer service, like chatbots, are like, it's kind of boring, but everybody does it. And if you're trying to figure out why everybody uses AI for customer service, this is the reason, right? This is just like the most simplest version of why businesses prefer this. Real person versus an AI chatbot, right? So if you're going to hire a real person, right, they're kind of limited by their human capabilities. What that means is they have a finite amount of willpower. You can't control what's going on in their personal life. You can't control how much sleep they're having. And so it's impossible for any human to work at 100% capacity 24/7, right? Not even 24/7, 8 hours per day. On the other hand, with an AI chatbot, it's always going to provide you the correct answer. Like the actual better part is actually answering those questions that the customers have. And the AI is going to do this, assuming that it has all the knowledge it needs. It's going to do this 100% of the time with 100% accuracy. That's why it's better. Second is faster, right? Like as a real person, you're kind of limited to the 8 hours per day, maybe 10 hours per day. And even if you're to work 10 hours per day, like it's the efficiency, like the betterness drops over time. On the other hand, with an AI chatbot, right, you're getting an instant response 24/7. So, I mean, again, there's no competition there. Obviously, the AI chatbot wins. And finally, cheaper, right? Even if you were to outsource your customer service, which a lot of companies do, on an hourly basis, it's still going to be much more expensive than simply calling an AI chatbot, right? It's going to be anywhere from 1/10 to 1/100th of an employee, sometimes even more. Right? And like a cool side effect of this, like as a side note, is for stores, let's say like there's stores that don't get as much traffic and they can't, like it doesn't even make sense for them to hire a full customer service team. So they, as the business owners themselves, have to take care of the customer service. That's one of those weird scenarios where you don't really fit into a real person, right? You can't have an employee, but if you just put it on a chatbot, because ChatGPT, if we're going to use GPT-4 like as an example, because it's on a usage basis, they can easily put this in, and despite not having a big company, right, it could just make like $100, $200, $300,000 per year. It still makes sense to do this instead of having to hire an employee. Now moving on to the second example. So this is where like things start to get a little nuanced. Class tutor. So class tutor is just somebody who helps you with your class stuff. It could be like for high school, middle school, university, GMAT, SAT, it doesn't matter. The point is, as a student, I want somebody who can help me learn whatever it is I'm learning faster, right, and better. Top is the teacher, the bottom the AI assistant. So better. So this is where I guess things get a little more nuanced, because you can make the argument that the teacher is just as good as an AI, because that person has had years of experience teaching that one same thing. And during that time, they've kind of developed an acumen for how to properly teach students, how to have the proper pauses, how to say what thing so that it clicks on the student's mind the first time, right? And assuming that this is like a seasoned teacher or whatever. On the other hand, with an AI assistant, right, things are different. Like there's a different approach to it. It's a more personalized experience. What that means is the AI is going to know everything about what you know, right? If you don't know something, they're going to tell it you don't know something, and it's going to have that full history, like forever. Especially, if you're going to use ChatGPT, it has that updated memory now across the different threads, and it also has infinite patience, right? Like, no matter which way you put it, like even like the best teacher, there's a limit to how much you can keep asking the same question again and again. Like there's a limit there. Which the point here is that AI does not have any limit. You can dumb things down to like the most bottommost level. You can just spend an hour on the same concept, on the same topic, and nobody's going to care, because there is nobody, right? It's just an AI assistant. So the better here is actually depends on what type of learner you are. So this one, we can just give this 50-50. But on the other categories, like faster, a tutor, you're limited by how many paid hours that you're hiring that person, right? And like the worst part is, like, let's say I'm a night owl. Let's say I want to study at night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. or something like that. I can't hire this tutor. I can't bring somebody outside of work hours to help me. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is the fact that, let's say I run a business of class tutors. I am limited by the number of tutors I have, right? I can't scale. On the other hand, with, let's say, like an AI teaching assistant, this is going to run 24/7 for my clients, no matter what happens. It's going to obviously quickly give an answer whenever I want. So like time is not an issue. And I can scale this up as much as I want to. So if like 10, 20 students happen to sign up on the same day because of my marketing work, there's no lag, right? It's going to be just as fast as having like one live person, because the AI assistant, like the tech is just take care of it. That's all I'm trying to say. And finally, cheaper. So cheaper, it's a no-brainer, right? You're going to have to pay a tutor anywhere from $20 to $50 per hour. AI assistant, obviously, is cheaper. If you use something as simple as ChatGPT, it's free. So that's where, things are like, it depends on the situation, right? If somebody is selling the service and they pride themselves in having a super personalized experience, and, it depends on like what kind of persona you're targeting. So that's where it gets like a little nuance here, right? There are situations where having a real person might be more beneficial than an AI assistant, right? But for like the mass market, an AI assistant is going to make more sense than not. Finally, it's relocation. So relocation, I guess, quick briefer for those of you who are not aware, it's basically a company that helps typically high net worth individuals move into a new city or like a new country. So they take care of, the actual moving part, picking up, like having the taxi to pick you up, all the papers for the documents. Like the idea is, for this particular example, I'm so rich, I don't want to have to worry about all that little boring paperwork and negotiation and all that. I just give the money to someone and they take care of it for me, right? So this is where you're going to see, like, even though it's better, faster, cheaper, it might not always make perfect sense to use an AI assistant. So a relocation assistant or relocation consultant, whatever it is you want to call it, right? Maybe I'll call this consultant to differentiate between a real person and an AI. Typically, like I said, it's a tailored luxury experience, right? The company prides themselves in providing a concierge level service with, the emails and like the communication and the professionalism, right? That's part of what the client is paying for. On the other hand, with an AI, right, it's kind of cold-hearted. You can do like a persona kind of thing, right? But as a high net worth individual, you would rather just hire someone and pay the extra money and make sure it's right, versus having an AI assistant that gives you constant answers, but it's not always going to be right. So better's a little iffy here, right? If service is something that matters to my business, that person-to-person interaction, then AI is starting to kind of take away from that, and the relocation consultant might just be better, even though on paper this is going to answer everything and give the right answers 100% of the time. Second is faster. So this one, again, like you're limited to working hours, and this one's it's not ironic, but an AI assistant can basically work across all time zones. So if I'm sitting here in America and I want to move to Finland or something like that, right? The time zones are not going to line up. We're like, I don't even know what the time difference is. So if I ask a question, there's going to be like a 24-hour delay, and no doubt AI wins this one, because you always get the answer right away, assuming it's trained on everything. And third is cheaper, right? So, relocation consultant, that's a pretty high skill labor. It's a pretty niche thing, right? You need the certifications, and that's going to cost money, right? To hire these type of people, you're going to have to pay them a pretty good salary. On the other hand, with an AI assistant, you kind of get the point. It's going to be a 10th, 100th of an employee. But the point I'm trying to make here is, despite things being like almost better, obviously faster and cheaper, this particular market, they don't want to hire AI. They don't even want to use AI, right? If they use AI for all their interactions with the client, that loses that in-person thing that actually matters for this industry. So this is a scenario where it would not even make sense to use AI. And I mean, I know this because I've tested these different, I've tested all of these actually. And I mean, this is just like the field data, right? After talking with people, after getting the rejection emails and asking them why, and, you know, doing the cold calls. So that kind of sums up this video, right? I think the key takeaway here to ask yourself whether you're actually helping an existing client or you're trying to get on a new client, or you just want to kind of start and see, you know, what you should actually focus on. Ask yourself, is it better, faster, and cheaper than employees? So hopefully this video was useful. If you enjoyed watching this, give a like, comment down below. I respond to every single comment, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.